Wow, this was a lot better than I remembered. Creative types, a story of 6 trying to fit in with life while also being creative. First, you got the digital artist who gets a nasty comment on his art. Then you got the writer, whose stories no one reads. Then you got the comedian who focuses more on his work rather than his relationship and loses himself. Then you got the musician who doesn't care about anything but her music. Then you got the creative agent who remembers a time when she was a creative herself. Then you got the graffiti artist who's nothing more than a filthy hobo. And so these stories pair up to fix each other's problems. Turns out the writer and digital artist are in fact dating, and give each other moral support to go through with the negative comments and solve the lack of audience. The agent tips the graffiti artist for drawing a beautiful bunny. She was then given the drawing by the graffiti artist. Then there's the musician who saved the comedian from killing himself from his breakup. The story ends with everyone presumably being satisfied with everyone helping each other out. The story is fantastic, using many different stories and weaving each one to connect to each other. There is an even amount of story in each of the separate paired stories, and I'm surprised how unforced this was even when each one connected similarly. While it ended up being 6 stories turning into 3 stories, each story had their own reason for being there, so I didn't feel like it was too cluttered. The characters are the main driving force of the story, and let me just say, they drove the story very well. I was surprisingly well invested with each character, as each one managed to shine with their passion and give insight of what they had and what problems they presented of themselves. A problem with some animations and their characterization is that they don't present the character well enough to really be invested in them. That or the characters were meant to be filling characters for you to relate to them. The characters of this one, however, shine so brightly with what little screen time they have, I was so impressed. None of the characters felt like cardboard and empty shells. They actually felt like relatable characters that you just so happened to be able to insert yourself into. The sound, which was just a song, known as Alone Time, is a really nice and peaceful song. The lyrics match up pretty well, and definitely a smart choice when it came to the sound. No sound effects apart from one single short instance were used, which allowed it to flow a lot more. Rather than adding a bunch of sound effects, the music allows you to focus on the animation rather casually. It's kind of like a music video in the way it's stylized, nice visuals with a song playing in the background. Speaking of visuals, the work is really nice. It's the sort of style you find on YouTube, sort of simple yet very unique. The animation is really smooth and the designs of the characters are really attractive while also looking like anime. It seems to more in-depthly be relatable to a Nick cartoon if anything really. There's also a really great choice of color. Everything seems to pop out in the right way and seems so natural. It's also really memorable because of it. Just all in all, a really well done animation. It's fun to look back at just for the amount of effort the work has in it. It's polished, relatable, and very, very creative.